That's your boy Gooch.
That is the boy Keys. This to my left, if you're a Chiefs fan, needs no introduction. Host of Chief Concerns, Eastern Kentucky University Hall of Famer, 11-year NFL veteran, member of two of the most prolific offenses in NFL history for the Kansas City Chiefs. That guy is Jason Dunn, your favorite tight end's favorite tight end.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, we're doing awesome.
I am honored.
Well,
honored and humbled.
Honored and humbled. Well, I tell you what, it's always great to be amongst loyal Chiefs fans, and for the ones that may not know now, but we were pretty decent back then when I played. You know, I say back then, but it wasn't quite that long ago. But we had a pretty awesome team. And so it's always to come amongst fans, man, and talk to you guys, talk to real, like I said, Chiefs fans that I really enjoy having these conversations with. So here I am, man. Glad to be here.
Hey, Seattle fans, you had to build your stadium to be loud. Ours is open air, and we're still louder. I just want to put it out there.
Right. Yeah, I can only think of one time in NFL history where the ref had to threaten the crowd that he would call a delay of game or whatever, personal foul, whatever it was.
And he didn't threaten; he did
it. The John Elway game when he was crying and complaining about the crowd noise.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I know it was brutal on opposing teams. No doubt about it. I think, without a doubt, the loudest I've ever heard the stadium was the playoff game against Peyton Manning, the Colts. As that year,
the no punt game.
No punt game. It was the no punt game, and it just. When I'm telling you that, it felt like the stadium was, just moving, reverbing, like the ground and everything was like shaking. It was crazy just to feel it. The energy, just being out on the field, man, was just like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't help but play. I mean, the crowd was so loud, man. They were so energetic just into the game, man. It was such a beautiful sight, And I can't believe we lost that game. I just could not believe it, man. It was heartbreaking.
Jason, that was probably the one time that I was hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I was hurt as a fan. Any other time, I'm like, all right, good game. We'll get them next year. After that game, I was like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel.
Yeah, man. I was right with you, man. We talking about shocked. I mean, we just shocked, hurt. I mean, I remember going out that night with guys, trying to lick our wounds, and it was just nothing. There was no solace or whatever. It's just you had to just go through it. It was just that devastation of that loss. It was just. I mean, everybody was just hurt. I don't think we were sitting around. I remember we were sitting around, kind of, at the table. It's probably about 8 of us. We all had our beers and kind of drinking, a little bourbon or whatever guys had. I don't think anybody even said anything. We just all just sitting there like that, just kind of like sulking, like couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. And so I came back from Canton this past weekend, actually yesterday, and Coach Jamil was talking about, man, he won a Super Bowl. Well, went to the Super Bowl with Philly and the Rams, and he knew he should have went to the Super Bowl with that 13-3 team. He knew that, and he was just like, man, so we just didn't get it done. We had it, just didn't get it done. Coach,
he just ran it. It's like Peyton Manning had very few games, but that's just one of those days where he was just like, it's like the Bills Chiefs game last year. It's just one of those, like, Josh Allen hasn't had one of those games ever.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he just found it.
Right.
And it was when I was watching that game, because I was in the stadium that game, it was basically whoever has the ball last. And so then as it gets into the fourth quarter, and then you start clock watching, you're like, do we have enough time to get the ball back? Like, I'm like, okay, I won't relive any more painful memories. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, do we can transition into this question, since you were kind of talking about kind of that pain and processing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a human side to things. So are there, what are some of the hidden struggles that players may go through that fans don't think about? We can get in a tendency to just kind of think of players as robots, or quite similar to the players on Madden. We're playing a video game and it's just a name, or something. So you want to talk about what are some of those kind of struggles? Because if it hurts us, I can't imagine it doesn't hurt players a lot more, and a lot of other things that you go through during the season and off season.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, and that's the truth. It's real. The type of struggles that guys go through, like I said, after a game such as that, it's devastating to us. Because as much as people see us put on the jerseys and the shoulder pads and helmets on Sunday, the amount of time that we spent in the classroom, the film room, on the practice field, in the weight room, in the training room, where you just beat up. And sometimes you just can't even move. I remember in 2006, I think it was, I remember I was probably getting about an hour and a half of sleep each night because how bad my back was. And it was like I had to get up and like loosen my back up, stretch. This was like over a course of hours. It seemed like every single game that I played, it was always a game time decision. It was like, Jason, can you go? Can you go? And I was like, man, I know how my back is going to be, right? And so like the physical, the torment that you go through, right? So like the mental things of like when you lose, it's past money. Guys obviously want to get paid, but I think part of that is warranted on how much we care about want to win, right? Like we really care about, people in the stadium. We see faces, we see how kids love it and how the fans enjoy it, and like, we relish in those things. We really do. Like we make people happy. We love people being happy because we're happy and we're winning and we're trying to bring success to the city. And so we understand that responsibility, especially if you played in this game for a while. I think sometimes people they don't realize that we're just real people. We're regular people. We really are. And, the thing is, because of what we do, we may be more criticized for if something doesn't go right? Where I know Gooch is, you at work and nobody's really seeing you work, right? You say, man, I'm here by myself and stuff. Well, shoot, there's no way somebody can't see us work. They might not see us work during the week and how many hours you're putting in, but on Sunday, if you screw up and people are all over you, and now Twitter and social media, it's horrible because you just got people now who are just, they just mean spirited. They don't care. It's the trolling bit, right? For them. To them, it's fun, right? If I could just cause misery to somebody else's life, just make it even. And they don't even think that you have kids and kids reading things and stuff like that, right? They don't. None of that registers. So, knowing that the human side of it, I think sometimes people just miss, right? Because all we want to do is we want to win and go home and sleep without, our wife, be with our kids and be dad when we get there. And sometimes it's just tough to do when you might get on social media or they read us newspapers and you go into school and they tell you, well, your dad, he dropped 3 balls and my dad said your dad sucks. And, kids like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? So, I don't know, man, but I think it's what it is. We care so much. We care deeply about winning because that's a profession. it's a performance business. So we know also too, if you don't perform, you out of a job, right? There's no second chances on doing the things, and obviously we understand the how we're able to profit off of football in itself, and we know that's an opportunity a lot of people are just not afforded. It's a privilege to be out there. So that's where I'm at.
What is it? What is it, Jason, about the Chiefs organization that we see so many former Chiefs players just really come back and be a part of Chiefs Kingdom? Whether it's retiring in the area, there's a lot of former Chiefs, on YouTube and other places. What is it about the organization that makes former players want to come back and be a part of the organization post career and be so close to the fans?
I think, to be honest, uh, you know, one of the things that Goose said, it was like, it's Lamar Hunt and the Hunt family. It's the organization in itself, about how they care about you, and how they treat you. It's very important. I was fortunate to only play for two teams with Philadelphia and Kansas City. And when I came to Kansas City, you could just tell it's a different organization, as far as how just taking you in. It just seemed like it was a huge family. Wasn't really a whole lot of it wasn't like upper management and then the lower guys, right? It wasn't like people up here up top. It was like a whole family. Everybody was kind of together. You knew who was in the building. You knew their name. You knew their faces, and they was around. And I think that was purposeful, because they wanted to at least make it that way. And so I think this organization in itself, and also too, you got to say the city and the fans, really. I mean, because Chiefs Kingdom has some of the greatest fans in the NFL, without a doubt. I mean, I remember different fans at the stadium were just hollering at you, just, oh yeah, go Chiefs, oh yeah, just and it's really it's wonderful to see, it's wonderful to hear, and just to feel. And like I said, man, if I'm telling you, two different organizations like Philly. I love my Philly fans, man. But them jokers are, man, they ready to, oh man, y'all suck, y'all horrible. Like, just the things that you would hear on the media. I just, when I got to Kansas City, I thought everything was tame, that Whitlock and all those guys supposedly be the shock jocks what they were writing. I'm like, I came from Philly. This is nothing. This is easy. Like, this the only controversy you got. So I think it has a lot to do with it, just with the organization and the city and the fans in itself. Kansas City feels like a big city with a small town mentality. And it means it's big enough where you could kind of go out and do your thing and be who you want to be, but it's small enough that, you get to see everybody and get to know who everybody is. So you have some pockets and spots. So it's just a great place, man. I think a lot of guys that I played with decided to just make their home there because it's great for families. And so they had that warm and welcoming spirit that guys loved. So I think that's the reason, man. That's what they like about it. So they do a lot. They do a lot with the ambassadors in the community as well. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for that, for guys to kind of reach out and not feel like you're lost and you're just gone. Because sometimes a guy could, once you retire, they could just be gone from football and be done with it. So I know the ambassadors do a tremendous job of giving back to the community. So those three things I know for a fact is probably one of the biggest factors for guys coming back and staying with the organization.
Are you still a tight ends coach at Kentucky?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So I've actually, so I started my organization, Dunn for Kids, and so I'm doing a little bit more of that now, pushing my organization. When I had it in Kansas City, I'm bringing it here to the state of Kentucky, and I'm building up young kids, middle school, some high school kids, and just talking to them about having a blueprint for life. How do you navigate some of these things, man? We know how it was when you was a teenager, things you had to deal with, the stresses you had to go through. You didn't know what up and down was. You had no idea what you wanted to do. You was ready to try everything. So sometimes it just takes some of that information and knowledge, people that's been there before, but also too, it's like, hey, let me help you. What do you need? What do you want to do? And if it's something, I don't know, let's say you want to be a veterinarian, right? Well, let's put you in some organizations to let you see if that's really what you want to do, right? Let's encourage that, and we'll get you there. So that's what I'm doing for the Dunn for Kids right now. My youngest son, he's actually in high school. He's a senior playing outside linebacker. So I've been watching him get after it. It's going to be good seeing him this year.
Outside linebacker, yes, sir. Snot bubble hits.
Yes.
I can appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you said that was Dunn for Kids?
Dunn for Kids, yeah. It's called Dunn for Kids, yeah.
Now, is there a way for Chiefs fans to support you in that? Is there a website or anything?
We're getting the website put up together.
Okay.
We're going to get it built, so hopefully within the next month,
okay.
We're going to have it all, like as far as a website and able to give and donations and stuff. But everything has been pretty much local. What I was doing out in Kansas City, I used to be the ambassador of the Salvation Army, giving out scholarships to kids and families during that time. So we're trying to make it bigger here in the state of Kentucky and expand it to hopefully be able to benefit as many people as possible here in the state of Kentucky. So yeah, the website and stuff is going to come up. Because I think a lot of people are really kind of jumping on board with this thing, and it's an exciting thing to see.
So make sure you follow Jason on Twitter. I'm sure he'll share the news once they get the website and stuff up. So we have this down here for you. Follow him on Twitter, and that'll probably be the easiest way right now for you guys to stay up to date, so that you can help support Dunn for Kids.
Absolutely.
So, since it's taking him a minute, any thoughts on coaching? I mean, Dunn for Kids obviously is the big thing right now, which I'm super behind. But you ever thought about going back, maybe jumping in at a tight end university that Kelsey and them are doing? And
you know what, that would be awesome to do. And I think that we need to put some emphasis on maybe blocking. I know the tight end those guys are pass catching. That's was getting this butter in their bread right now. But you can't underestimate a great tight end that can block. You just can't. And it includes a weapon, guys that are able to do that. And so you have somebody like me, man. I could teach them the art of blocking. Getting those arms inside and hooking guys, and knowing what you need to do off of a bigger guy. So that would be awesome to do. I'd love to go somewhere like Tight End University, go have those guys coach or just work on their footwork and their blocking ability. But
for those of you that don't know, Jason Dunn was Gronk and Kittle before Gronk and Kittle. Before, when blocking wasn't a thing, Jason was the master of it. So
that's right.
And there is film. You can see it on YouTube. Or in Chiefs archives, videos, anything like that. Yeah. There was a clinic. And that was another question too that we were talking about before you got in. Did it I don't know the correct way to say this, but it's moving a grown man against his will. How satisfying is that? Like when you go out there and you're like, it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah. Oh man. I was with of the A team guys. I love it when a plan comes together. And so I tell you what, man, it's when you learn how to just maneuver, leverage, strength, it all comes together. All just clicks to move guys. And I think I sent a tweet out. I retweeted something where Trent Priest had gotten into the end zone, and I was like, it was saying that we had to always score with our man. So what that meant was we had to block our guy into the end zone. There was no way. So if Priest is scoring, we're scoring with our guy. That's the way it works. Wait for Priest to get in the end zone. Our guy has to be in the end zone with us, right? Because if he's playing on our side of the line of scrimmage, then we're getting beat. So even a stalemate at that time, like it's not good enough. So it's like I always score with your man. And so I had a guy that on the picture that I already pushed on the ground. And so when we tell him like moving a grown man is like that right there in itself is such a satisfying feeling. I mean, man, it's just, it's like moving a big old ox or bull just out of the way. You just feel like you're Superman, really. So that's such a wonderful, concept of just thinking from A to B. I just moved this guy from this point 10 more yards from where he was at, right? And so putting the guy on cleats.
Against his will.
It's his will. It's his will. Yeah. I've had some really good ones. I had some really good ones. I actually had this defensive end. I'm not going to say who it was, but he came in, and I caught this joker, and I just kind of picked him up and dumped him, right?
No, never mind.
And so
I know that play. I know who that was.
Oh man, if you say who it is, I might say yes or no.
I'm not.
Yeah, but the referee
still respect.
Yeah. The referee came to me and said, "Man, why did you do him like that?" Because the referee was just shocked. I just literally jumped him, and the guy was screaming because I guess I jumped him on his shoulder, and he was and the ref was like, "You could throw a flag because it was a great block. It was just a great block." I just, I kind of gently picked him up and forcefully put him on his shoulder. We'll do it that way. So
gently as a 6'6" guy can.
Yeah, right.
I remember, and the only thing I can remember about that game, I wasn't there, but it was on TV. But I think they panned to the moment that you did it, and we were like, "Ooh, that hurt."
Yeah.
Sorry, told you I'm a fan. My bad. Go ahead, Keys.
No, it's good. No, it's good. We used to call it getting thrown out of the club. Is what that's what we used to call it.
See, when I was younger, we called it eating their lunch.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, taking the lunch money from them. So yeah, man, we ate. That's I had some good blocks, and I always loved, especially goal line. Because you just knew it was, you had to win. There was no if, buts, or maybes. I mean, you had to win that battle. You had to. So we knew, especially in certain situations, let's say if it's 4th and 1 or in the goal line or something like that, everybody's watching, and we knew everybody be watching this film or this tape at this time. And there's no hiding whatsoever. If you get your butt kicked, you just get your butt kicked. Pure and simple. And you knew you had to hear about it. Now, out in the field, hey, maybe it's played 40 something and, you lose this battle. Okay, right? You line back up. Okay, no big deal. They didn't score, so let's go back to it. But, when you're on the goal line, it's either deny or you lose. Pure and simple. So that's what I call, like, that's that 4th and 1, 3rd and something. That's bully ball. That's the real grown man stuff right there, man. That's, shoot. That's when you're looking in the huddle. I used to love it all the time because we come in the huddle and it's Trent and you're looking at everybody's eyes and you just know everybody's sitting over and get like, yeah, this is, we got to get it done. That's it, so.
And I think the way that the game has gone, maybe some of the younger fans are, have been conditioned more towards the receiving side. So what would you say to this? Because I've seen this question on Twitter the last few days. Especially when we're talking about the tight end room, and like I said, I think there's a lot of us who are fun. We would love to see some 4 tight end sets. We're not sure how much Andy would do it, but we're all for it if they would. And so, but when we're talking about, like, say, Blake Bell, I've seen this question come up. So what would you say to a fan that says, if you want a blocking tight end in today's NFL, just have a 6th offensive lineman instead, and not waste that spot?
Yeah, I just, to me,
they wouldn't say it to your face, but they would say it on Twitter. So
right, of course. To me, it just is. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I think when you have the 6 O-line in, I think it's gimmicky. I don't think you have the ability to do what you want to do as far as matchup wise. Like, if you bring a 6, O-line in, you're basically going to run the football. If you send him out in the route, he's not going to be able to get open like a Blake Bell. He's just not. He's not going to be able to get open like a Jason Dunn or any other tight end, to be honest with you, because he's just not used to it. I'm sorry. There's only a limited amount of things he's able to do. And so I think when you have 2 and 3 tight end sets, even 4, because I was pushing for it last year. Last year they was getting in 3. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. It's a matchup nightmare, because you especially got a tight end like Travis Kelce, who go line up like a wide receiver, beat a corner, beat a safety, beat anybody out there. I don't care who it is that lines up against him.
Healthy Jody too.
Yeah, and Jody. That's why I was going to go to Jody next. So he's another guy who could stretch the field and just beat you with his length. An extra O-line will not be able to do those things. I don't care what you do. And so those guys they're good blockers. They're good blockers on the edge as well. They're more athletic. And so I think what you do is you hurt your offense that way, carrying the offensive line and, as a tight end. Okay. But to me, my mind offensively, and I've been involved with offenses for a long time, coached in college and offensive side of the ball. That gives me a matchup nightmare. I would love to have 3 tight ends and just do things with 3 tight ends. Run the football, pass, do what, man, we got it. We got all of that covered. So even if you have a guy like Noah Gray who's coming along, doing his job, Blake Bell, who's another guy who can catch footballs. I mean, he's throwing a pass out the backfield, lining up. Come on, man. Like, I'm just dead set against having an O-line that could come and come in. But if you don't have a guy that could block as a tight end, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. But I don't like that. I don't like that idea at all. So,
let's take a moment at least to let Jason go ahead and plug his stuff. So, Jason, please talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, tell us why you started it and what made you start it.
Really, Marcus reached out to me, my co-host, Marcus Dash. He did some sports stuff in Kansas City. Worked for a television station. He did some sports and called me. Was like, "Hey, would you mind, doing an interview or coming on my show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to." We had a wonderful conversation and interview, and he ended up calling and getting in contact with me a little bit later, and me and Eric got on board, and pretty much from that point on, man, we just started really gelling well together, and kind of seeing the vision about where the Saints could go. And so we're getting this out here, and I think a lot of people don't quite know. So you see it right here, Twitter at Jason's TD89 is my Twitter handle, and of course at Chiefs Concerns or Concerns Chief is for our show, and it's on YouTube, of course, Apple, Spotify. But what we wanted to do, man, we just wanted to bring a little bit more, commentary to let people know a little bit about, the ins and outs of working behind the scenes, actually being, football players, and how all of that felt, what it, means being in a locker room, how guys actually think about these particular things, what's really going on, maybe in contract talks and all that, So, I know some things are kind of speculative And I'm just like, nah, that's not what's going on at all. Like, you know what a guy's thinking. You know what a guy's doing. When I hear coach get up and he'll say something, I know exactly what he means when he's saying it, right? And so, so we try to kind of give that look behind the curtains to what's going on, and we give our perspective on players and what they do and where the team is going. From our football mind and with our knowledge and time in the league and experience to probably help people see, some of the things that's going on and just ask questions. Like, we like questions. We don't want to hear, things that, we say things and we might get things wrong. That does happen. But I know sometimes, in the locker room, we know how guys are thinking and what they say and, how guys feel. And sometimes I know when like contract things come up, we understand it's business, but all businesses, doesn't mean it's easy to swallow just because it's supposed to be business, right? So there's a lot there that we wanted to express. So I kind of get it. I get it when guys ask for money or ask for these things because it's part of the deal. It's part of like you want to be taken care of and compensated for the things that you do. And sometimes you had to voice it, and it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be perfect, but this is like I said, you get into the point of where it is a business, and sometimes you don't feel like the loyalty is reciprocated. Sometimes I think it's good. Sometimes the disputes go in there, but then we also know that sometimes guys like they go in. It's like, hey man, you asking for a whole lot for minimal work. You can put in hard work like that, but realizing what that means. So, there's a lot there. So we're trying to just give everybody, like I said, a look into the intricate parts of how things work. So it's always good.
And the Eric he's talking about is Eric Warfield, a staple of the Chiefs secondary.
Yes.
Number 44. So if you don't know about him, you should check out some of his film too. Definitely one of the better secondary players in the NFL during his tenure with the Chiefs. I think was 5 or 6 years.
Eric was
definitely.
Yeah, I was going to say Eric was, when I was talking to one of the coaches, Eric was without a doubt, one of the most athletic corners in the NFL at the time. He really was. And so, man, E-Dub, man, was a bad boy. Still a bad boy. So Eric Warfield, number 44, Jason Dunn, 89, and number 1 in your heart. But we love coming on the show and coming getting at it sometimes, and we don't always agree on things. As a matter of fact, we disagree a lot because it's offense and defense. And so that's always good. It's always good to have that perspective, doing those things. But we bring out a lot of older Chiefs. We're gonna start getting some of the younger guys in here, some coaches. So our show is just gonna get better. It's gonna get better, man. And I appreciate y'all guys for having me on. To kind of talk about this, man, and we do the same thing, man. Promote you dudes, man, because I love the things that y'all got. So I'm always hyped to get out and discuss what's going on with the Chiefs, man. It's the concerns of the Chiefs, baby. So yeah, come over, come visit us, man. And we appreciate it, guys. We do. We appreciate it, fellas, a lot. I appreciate y'all having me on the show tonight, and I will come back to visit. To have some more information to contact and talk a little bit more, chop it up some more. This has been fun. It's been fun, man.
We appreciate everybody that watches this content.
Absolutely.
I would tell you all the other stuff, but make sure you check out Chiefs Concerns. Jump on Jay's Twitter, E-Dub's Twitter. Just follow them, man. It's all good content. We are always here on RGR, but I'm going to spend more time over there because those guys have good stuff. Big Chief Sean, Chief in the North, Seth Kaiser. We're all out here doing big things. Please, 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 above all else, tell somebody you love them because you never know when today might be the last chance you get.
said.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We want to thank Jason again, and we hope you've enjoyed this show. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.